Hi, how are you? I hope that you've been doing fine. We're gonna explain the second reading text of Unit 8, but first, we're gonna open our booklet, the second part, page 8. Okay, so what do we have here? The first word that we have for today is the word outcome. Outcome. Outcome is a noun. It means the result or the effect. The result or the effect. Try to write down this example with me. It was difficult to predict the final outcome of the race. It was difficult to predict the final outcome of the race. What does it mean it was difficult to predict the final outcome of the race? It means that, for example, we were having a race, and in that race, there were a lot of people. And it was difficult to predict, it was difficult to expect, or it was difficult to tell the final outcome, okay? The final result of the race. The final outcome or the final result of the race. Who's going to win the race? Who's going to lose the race? Who's gonna come first? Who's gonna come second? And so on. And then the second word, free up. Free up. Okay, what does it mean, free up? First, free up, this is a verb. It means to make or to give more space. Throwing away old things freed up my room. Freed up my room. Getting rid of old things or moving old things out of my room, freed up my room. It means gave it more space. Gave it more space. For example, I had or I have a printer in my room and I don't need it. So I got rid of that printer, and then this gave space to my room. This freed up my room. And then number 3, we have the word symmetrical. It's an adjective, symmetrical. It comes from the word symmetry. Symmetrical, it means having like two shapes or two parts that have the exact or the same size or shape. Like when I say this is a symmetrical shape, it has two halves that are exactly the same. It means that this shape consists of two parts or of two halves, and the two halves are symmetrical. They are the same. They have the same size and the same shape. And then the word number 4, fraction. I'm not going to explain the meaning of this word because, of course, all of you know the meaning of the word fraction. 1/2 is a fraction, which is a part of a whole number in mathematics. And then the last word for today is the word approach. 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 This is a verb. It means to deal with a problem. To deal with a problem. Like when I say, Mom approached the problem calmly and she was able to solve it. My mom was dealing with the problem. She was approaching the problem, dealing with the problem in a calm way, and because of that, she was able to solve it. She was able to solve it. And now we're done with the booklet. Please open your literacy book. Okay, page 130. Page 130. But before reading the text, I'd like to tell you that the first reading text, the non-fiction reading text, is cancelled. Okay? So did you open your books? The binary life. The binary life. I'm not gonna explain the title or the meaning of the title because you're gonna understand the meaning yourself. I'm gonna start reading and I'm gonna open the book. I like to count the steps when I walk downstairs. It makes me feel calm. There are 10. What do you want for breakfast, Dexter? The questions start as soon as I get up in the morning. Cheese or chicken in your sandwich today? Do you want tomato or lettuce on it? Apple or banana for dessert? I don't like all these questions, but I do like the way my mom cut my sandwich into 4 equal triangles. She's good at estimating the percentage of sandwich toppings too. I like 75% cheese and 25% tomato. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a person called Dexter, and this person likes to count the steps of the stairs while walking down. Okay, and he tells us as soon as he gets up, he has a lot of questions in mind. He has a lot of questions in mind. And the first question that we have in this text is, what is his breakfast sandwich going to look like, or is going to be? Okay, shall I have cheese or chicken? Okay, shall I put on the top of that sandwich tomato or lettuce? And then after eating, shall I eat an apple or a banana for dessert? He tells us that he doesn't like answering all of these questions, but actually there are two things that he likes about the whole thing with the sandwich, with the breakfast sandwich, that his mother does. Number one, that his mother cuts his sandwich into 4 equal triangles, into 4 equal pieces. And then that number two, that she's really good at estimating, at guessing the percentage of the sandwich topping. What does it mean, the percentage of the sandwich topping? First, the word topping, it means the top of the sandwich. What does she put on the top of the sandwich? She's really good at guessing the percentage. It means that, okay, she can estimate that this amount of cheese is gonna be like 75%, and that this amount of tomato is gonna be like 25%. So what is she doing here? She's estimating, or she's guessing the percentage of that sandwich topping. And then after this, we make an average of 35,000 decisions every day. There are usually way more than 2 possible outcomes to each decision. But if there were only 2 possible results, that means that there are possibly 2 to the power of 35,000 ways my day could go. I like to analyze things mathematically. I translate the world into a language I'm comfortable with. So, what do we have here in this paragraph? Of course, you've noticed that Dexter is using a lot of numbers here, okay? And he's telling us that every day we have to make a lot of choices. We have to make like thousands of choices, okay? And that for every choice there are 2 possible results. There are 2 possible outcomes, okay? And that he likes to analyze, to think about everything using math, to think about everything using math, to analyze things mathematically, because he feels comfortable using math, thinking about a lot of different things. And then moving to the second or to the following paragraph. My brain couldn't stop thinking about this, so I had an idea. I could make life easier by flipping a coin to decide everything. Of course, there is a 1 in 6,000 chance of the coin landing on its edge, but if I flip it again, that possibility can be removed from the equation. Tails, green t-shirt. Heads, red shorts. Many of my decisions have been made in this way. What do we have here? Okay, Dexter, after telling us that he feels comfortable using math, thinking about everything, and he tells us that there are a lot of choices, or there are a lot of questions that he have to answer every day. And one of these choices that he has to answer, okay, what shall I wear for school? Okay, is he going to spend a lot of time thinking about this? No, he's going to use the trick or the strategy of flipping a coin. What does it mean, flipping a coin? Flipping a coin, it means turning a coin. Okay, for example, I have like 5 t-shirts, and I have like shorts, I have like pants, I have like a lot of other stuff. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn that coin. And then after turning the coin, he had the tails of the coin and the heads of the coin. Tails, it means the upper part of the coin, and heads, it means the back of the coin. Okay, so after flipping the coin landed on the tails, and he wore green t-shirt. And after flipping the coin another time for what to wear, okay, whether pants or shorts or whatever, the coin landed on heads, so he wore red shorts. And of course, this was a very bad thing, because he wore t-shirt and shorts while the weather was freezing. It means that it was very cold. Okay, This technique doesn't always work well, but at least I don't have to think about it. That frees up my brain to concentrate on music. I play cello and I like to compose. Okay, he tells us that this technique of flipping a coin, or this way of flipping a coin, isn't always the right way to decide or the right way to choose. But it frees up his brain, it gives his brain more space to concentrate, to focus on other stuff like music. And he told us that he plays cello and that he likes to compose, he likes to write music. Okay? And then we're going to know his story with music and how did it start. It started last autumn. You're a natural musician. I'll be disappointed if you don't study music in college. Miss Park said, math is clearly your subject. You'll go far if you major in math, Mr. Diaz told me. But I already knew this. That was my problem. This time, problem solving couldn't be done by the flip of a coin, and I was getting more and more stressed. All I wanted was to divide my time between playing cello and doing calculations. Why couldn't they see that? So, what do we have here? Dexter tells us that one of the teachers tells him that you should study music. You're talented, you're gifted, you're really good at playing music, okay? And this teacher told him that she will be really sad, she will be really disappointed if he's not going to study music. And we have another teacher that tells or that advises, okay, Dexter to study math, okay, to major in math, to make math his main study, okay, at college, because he will go far. It means that he will improve and that he will make a lot of important stuff. So he should major in math, he should study math, okay. But this was a problem for Dexter because he loves music and he loves math at the same time. This time he tells us that he cannot use the plan or the trick of flipping a coin because he cannot choose only one thing. He loves both of them. And he's telling himself that every person is telling him that he should pick a side, he should choose only one thing, which makes him more stressed, more nervous, and more worried about it. So he told himself, no, I'm gonna do both of them together. I'm gonna play cello and I'm gonna do calculations. And then the following paragraph. When I'm stressed, I think everything can be solved with math, and I believed I could calculate my way out of this confusion, so I started to write numbers, equations, and formulas. But as I wrote, I started to hear music in my head and forget about the problem completely. The number sequences poured out of my pen. The hours passed and I wrote through the night. So Dexter tells us he feels stressed or worried about choosing only one thing, okay. And he tells us when he starts to write numbers, to do calculations, to write equations, to write formulas, okay, he starts to hear music in his head. So he was doing both at the same time, and because he starts to write numbers and he starts to hear music in his head, okay, the number sequences, the pen started to write a lot of numbers as if that pen has a brain and he thinks. And then after spending a lot of hours doing the two things that he likes the most, okay, hours passed and he wrote, okay, numbers till night. And then after this, no homework? This isn't like you, Dexter. You don't have a choice about homework. Homework must be done. Sorry, ma'am. What's wrong, Dexter? I'm not sure, but I spent all night writing music. Really? Wow! Tell me, who's your favorite composer? Buck. Why? Well, in this piece here, the notes go up, then the same sequence of notes is repeated here. But upside down, it's symmetrical. And you like symmetry? Yeah, I like all math. So what do we have here? We have Dexter after spending his entire night writing down numbers and listening to music in his head. He didn't do he forgot about doing his homework. And of course, at the beginning, his teacher was angry with him. But then she told him, or she asked him, what's the problem? What's the matter? And he told her that he spent all night writing music. And then she asked him, okay, she was surprised to know that Dexter likes to write music. And she asked him about his favorite composer. Composer, it means the person who writes music. And he told her Bach. And then he told her, or he showed her a piece of musical notes. And in that paper, or on that paper, there were musical notes. And there was something that Dexter liked about these musical notes, that they have symmetry. What does it mean they have symmetry? Some of the notes are up and some of them are down, but they have the same size and they have the same shape, so it was symmetrical. And then the teacher asked Dexter, do you like symmetry? Because you're speaking about music. Okay, what does symmetry has to do with music? And then he told her that he likes math. So he was speaking about music and math, or he was using music and math in everything that he does. And then at the end of the page, she asked him, so do you think math helps your music? Let's see what is he going to respond to that question. Well, listening to music feels like counting, and when I compose, I see numbers, patterns, and waves. Rhythm looks like fractions to me. There are beats and half beats, quarter and eighth notes. You understand what am I saying, don't you? Okay, so what do we have here? When the teacher asked Dexter, whether he thinks that math could help him in his music, he said yes, because when he starts to listen to music and when he starts to count, okay, he sees that the music or the counting that he's doing is like rhythm, and rhythm looks like fractions. Okay, what does it mean here? This part is a little bit confusing. Rhythm looks like fraction. Rhythm, it means music or pieces of music or the regular sound of music, like this. Looks like fractions. Okay, because in music or in musical notes, you have beat and you have half beat and you have quarter and eighth notes. So we have music, we're speaking about music, right? And at the same time, as we're speaking about music, we're speaking about math, right? So you understand what I'm saying, don't you? So at the end, or to sum up this paragraph, he's telling his teacher, when he thinks about rhythm or when he thinks about music, he also thinks about math. Because in music they have like beats and half beats and quarter and so on. Okay, so they are using numbers, they are using math in music. And then after this, he was asking his teacher whether she understands him or not. Yes, Dexter, I do. You know, there is a college that teaches computer-based musical composition. I could find the details for you if you want. So this doesn't have to be approached as a binary decision? Exactly. Don't think about it like you have to choose. What do you think are the chances of me getting into that program? Oh, about 90%. So what do we have here? The teacher understood what Dexter was trying to tell her. He was trying to tell her that he wants something that is related to music and math at the same time. And she told him that there was a college, or that there was a program, okay, it's called computer-based musical composition, in which he's going to study numbers and math and music at the same time. And she was telling him that she could search for more details if he's interested, if he wants to go to that place, if he wants to that college, or if he wants to join that program. And he asked her, this doesn't have to be approached as a binary decision. It means that he asked her, I don't have to deal with the problem by choosing only one. She said no. Okay, you don't have to choose. This is not a binary decision. You don't have to choose. You're not gonna choose only music or only math. Okay, you can do both of them. So he asked her about what does she think about the chances or the opportunities or the possibility of Dexter getting accepted in that program. She told him like 90%, which is pretty high. So here I am on my first day at college. I'm nervous, but I have to go now. Class starts in 15 minutes, and I have given up the coin flipping, but I still have all these steps to count. Wish me luck. And then after this, we knew that Dexter joined college, and he was nervous. He was nervous because it was his first day at college, and his class was about to start in 15 minutes, and he told us that he gave up the habit of coin flipping. He stopped to flip a coin when he wants to decide something, but he still has that habit of counting down the steps, and he asked us to wish him luck. That's it. So after explaining the words that we have in the booklet and the reading text, your homework is gonna be page 13 and 14. Thank you.